Welcome to the From Egypt to Zion show. If you are a newcomer and if you are a subscriber, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about encouragement for the saints of Yahuwah during the beginning of sorrows. Family, I brought up this topic today because there is a lot of fear going on right now during this coronavirus pandemic. Is there an actual coronavirus? Many people ask. There may be a virus, but it may not be as bad as the news media makes it seem. However, there is news that there are many people who have fallen sick and maybe some who have died as a result of the sickness. There is news that many of the people who have died have pre-existing conditions, but there is also the reality that people die every year from the flu and many other illnesses, and the news has not covered those conditions and events like they have this coronavirus pandemic. There is also talk that 5G has been released not only in China but also here in the United States and many other places. And there is news that the 5G, with its heightened radioactive frequencies or radiation frequencies, causes many of the same symptoms of the coronavirus. However, even though all of that may be true or may not be true, all we know is that we need to stay encouraged during these times of uncertainty. The beginning of sorrows. Family, we are living in a season that the Bible in Matthew 24 refers to as the beginnings of sorrows. It reads, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you. And ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations. And then shall the end come." A test of our faith. Family, there is news of people panicking, committing suicide, marriages and relationships breaking up, domestic abuse, and all manner of demonstrations of unbelief. There is fear about the coronavirus, but no one is truly paying attention. This is what the news media outlets and government wants in order to cause division, chaos, and to bring in their own form of order when people begin to loot, riot, increase in crimes, and lawlessness increases. This is all by grand design in order to bring in martial law. Fear of accepting cash and social distancing. A New World Order agenda. Notice how in order to shop, you must now stand 6 feet away from other customers at checkout. Notice how shields have been installed at checkout counters. People are wearing masks and gloves for fear of catching the novel coronavirus. Notice how they no longer want us to congregate together or even fellowship. Notice how there is this hesitation to accept cash. Do you still think that those of us who have been teaching prophecy and the truth are conspiracy theorists? Are you paying attention? The times of the opening of the 7 seals, the plagues of Revelation, and why Israel must repent. Family, we are literally living in the last seconds of earth history. Here's biblical proofs in Revelation chapter 6. And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard as it were the noise of thunder, one of the 4 beasts saying, Come and see. And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him. And he went forth conquering and to conquer. And when he had opened the 2nd seal, I heard the 2nd beast say, Come and see. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. And when he had opened the 3rd seal, I heard the 3rd beast say, Come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the 4 beasts say, A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. And when he had opened the 4th seal, I heard the voice of the 4th beast say, Come and see. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the 4th part of the earth, to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. And when he had opened the 5th seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of God, and for the testimony which they held. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? And white robes were given unto every one of them, and it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season, until their fellow servants also and their brethren that should be killed as they were should be fulfilled. Revelation chapter 6, verse 1 through 11. A time to increase our faith, even when times look grim. Family, I know times can look uncertain, especially with store shelves emptying and not being able to work as it seems that the whole world has shut down. It can be very depressing seeing gray skies with little to no view of a sunny sky. Well, this is the time to draw from the word of Yahuwah. We should have long prepared for prophecy to take place. This is the time that we are to be the salt of the earth and the light that cannot be hid on a high hill in these dark times. The Bible tells us in Isaiah 40, verse 31, But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. And family, Here are some scriptures to meditate on during these chaotic times. Matthew chapter 21, verse 22 reads, "And all things whatsoever ye shall ask in prayer, believing ye shall receive." Romans chapter 10, verse 17 reads, "So then faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of God." Hebrews chapter 11, verse 6 reads, "But without faith it is impossible to please God, for he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him." Mark chapter 11, verse 22 through 24 reads, "And Jesus answering said unto them, Have faith in God." James chapter 2, verse 19 reads, "Thou believest that there is one God, thou dost well. The devil also believe and tremble." Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." Luke chapter 1, verse 37 reads, "For with God nothing shall be impossible." Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8 through 9, "For by grace are ye saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of God." Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5 through 6, "Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding." Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1 through verse 13 through 25, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, and the evidence of things not seen." 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 5, "That your faith should not stand in the wisdom of men, but in the power of God." Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8, "For by grace are ye saved through faith, and not that of yourselves, it is the gift of God." 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 7, "For we walk by faith, not by sight." James chapter 2, verse 14 through 26, "What doth it profit, my brethren, though a man say he hath faith, and not have works? Can faith save him?" James chapter 2, verse 24, "Ye see then how that by works a man is justified, and not by faith only." James chapter 1, verse 5 through 8, "If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him." You see, family, we need to encourage ourselves during these times, encourage one another. And the way to do that is to study to show ourselves approved, and to meditate on his word and on these scriptures day and night. Why it is important to study the Bible scriptures. Family, there is no mention of a rapture in the Bible, only the gathering of Yahuwah's elect from the four corners. There is no mention of the saints going to heaven. The Bible only speaks of a place being prepared for us and a creation of a new heaven and new earth. The Bible speaks of the new Jerusalem descending out of heaven. The Bible speaks of Yahusha, Jesus Christ, returning to rule with a rod of iron. Here is biblical proof. Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 3 reads, "And I will gather the remnant of my flock out of the countries whither I have driven them, and will bring them again to their folds, and they shall be fruitful and increase. And I will set up shepherds over them, which shall feed them, and they shall fear no more, nor be dismayed, neither shall they be lacking, saith the Lord. Behold, the days come with the Lord, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch, and a king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth. In his days Judah shall be saved, and Israel shall dwell safely, and this is his name whereby he shall be called, the Lord our righteousness. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that they shall no more say, the Lord liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of Egypt. But the Lord liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country, and from all countries whither I have driven them, and they shall dwell in their own land. Ezekiel chapter 36, verse 24 reads, For I will take you from among the heathen and gather you out of all countries and will bring you into your own land. Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 14 reads, And I will be found of you, saith the Lord, and I will turn away your captivity, and I will gather you from all nations and from all the places whither I have driven you, saith the Lord, and I will bring you again into the place whence I caused you to be carried away captive. Why it is important to study the Bible scriptures continued. Matthew chapter 24, verse 29 reads, Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heaven shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Revelations chapter 21, verse 1 reads, And I saw a heaven new and new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, come down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them and be their God. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, no more sorrow, nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. And he that sat upon the throne said, Behold, I make all things new. And he said unto me, Write, for these words are true and faithful. Revelations chapter 21, verse 9 says, And there came unto me one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, full of seven last plagues, and talked with me, saying, Come hither, I will show thee the bride, the Lamb's wife. And he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain, and showed me that great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from God, having the glory of God. And her light was like unto a stone most precious, even like a jasper stone, clear as crystal, and had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates, and at the gates 12 angels, and the names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. On the east 3 gates, on the north 3 gates, on the south 3 gates, and on the west 3 gates. And the wall of the city had 12 foundations, and in them the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. And family, if this has been a blessing to you, like the video, share it, tweet, comment, follow, and thanks for watching. All donations is accepted at fromegypttozion@gmail.com. Family, in order for me to keep doing what I am doing, it would be highly appreciated if you would donate to this channel so that I can continue to bring you updates like I do a little more often. But I do thank you for tuning in, and I pray that this message has been a blessing for you. Until next time, shalom.